Beautiful people, welcome to the first edition of First Drive in the month of August 2025. It is the 6th day in the month of August 2025, and it is the day the Lord has made. I hope we are doing fine this morning. I hope we woke up and woke up well. I hope we woke up and woke up on the right side of the bed, if there is anything like that. I welcome you on board to Press Drive right here on I-FLIER 103.3 FM IBADAN, the perfect choice station for you, the I-FLIERs. And it's another day to take you through headlines making rounds in the national dailies this morning. I am your driver today. ESTHER ATILOLA is my name. I have the Punch, the Nation newspaper, and the Daily Post newspaper. I'll start with the headlines of each of these newspapers before we move to details of the stories we want to look at this morning. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation on Press Drive. You can call the studio lines, which I'll open when it's time. On Facebook, you can watch us live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. At I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us, and do comment if you want to react to any of the stories this morning. Once again, good morning and welcome to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM IBADAN. I'll be starting with the headlines of the Punch newspaper this morning. We know we're in the rainy season. Yesterday was a rain-filled day, and of course, even in the midnight, early this morning also, it rained. Nationwide alert. Federal government warns of 5-day flooding in 19 states. Nationwide alert. Federal government warns of 5-day flooding in 19 states. First holdco said to dispose shares after Otudeko's exit. First holdco set to dispose shares after Otudeko's exit. In education, CBT fears surge after decade worst WASC results. CBT fears surge after decade worst WASC results. Away from that to sport, reward Nafisa like Falcons, the Tigress, Pantami tells federal government. Reward Nafisa like Falcons, the Tigress, Pantami tells federal government. That's still in education. Away from that, APC are delicate trade words over governor's 2-week absence. APC are delicate trade words over governor's 2-week absence. Kano Transport Commissioner resigns after drug baron bail probe. Kano Transport Commissioner resigns after drug baron bail probe. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, still going through some of its headlines. 2027, PDP, ADC, Labour Party slam Umahi over pro-Tinubu remark. 2027, PDP, ADC, Labour Party slam Umahi over pro-Tinubu remark. ADC chairman reject David Mark's party takeover. ADC chairman reject David Mark's party takeover. Sokoto mandates 2-year rural service for medical graduates. Sokoto State mandates 2-year rural service for medical graduates. Away from that, 300,000 children face hunger as WFP shuts Borno and Yobe clinics. 300,000 children face hunger as WFP shuts Borno and Yobe clinics. 30 senior correctional officers elevated to ACG rank. 30 senior correctional officers elevated to ACG rank. Alausa defends UBEC boss over probe call. Alausa defends UBEC boss over probe calls. Senate must compel IOCs to clean up Niger Delta. Header says. Senate must compel IOCs to clean up Niger Delta. A group called Header says, or an agency rather called Header says, Federal government inaugurates national MSMEs grants and clinics in Akure. Federal government inaugurates national MSMEs grants and clinics in Akure. Back to education story. Police and student refute viral Nasarawa varsity rape claims. Police and student refute viral Nasarawa varsity rape claims. Away from that, Shehu Sani blames past leaders for the North's woes. Shehu Sani blames past leaders for North's woes. Kano APC endorses Tinubu, reaffirms Ganduje's leadership. Kano APC endorses Tinubu, reaffirms Ganduje's leadership. WAEC disowns school list in 192,000 withheld results scandal. WAEC disowns school list in 192,000 withheld results scandal. Away from that, Uriwa commends DSSDG over human rights reforms. Uriwa commends DSSDG over human rights reforms. Federal government backs 158 varsity research project with 4.2 billion naira. Federal government backs 158 varsity research project with 4.2 billion naira. August 16th by-election, political parties mobilize support for candidate. August 16th by-election, political parties mobilize support for candidate. And finally, going through the last set of headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. Yobe Pantami hail Nigerian global English champions seek honors. Yobe Pantami hail Nigerian global English champions seek honors. And finally, on the Punch newspaper this morning. Okay, this is still loading. All right. Let's away from that. Let's just move to another newspaper. That is the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, it's loaded. And the last headline on the Punch newspaper: lawyer backs Abati's assertion on Nigeria civil war. Lawyer backs Abati's assertion on Nigeria civil war. 2027, don't repeat 2019 mistakes. SDP chieftain warns Owerri leaders. 2027, don't repeat 2019 mistakes. SDP chieftain warns Owerri leaders. Now to the Daily Post newspaper. Let's go through some of its headlines. We had close shave with death. Police didn't rescue us. Kidnapped lost student says. We had close shave with death. Police didn't rescue us. Kidnapped lost student says. NCAA grounds value jet pilot over safety violation at airport, Abuja airport rather. NCAA grounds value jet pilot over safety violation at Abuja airport. EFCC arraigns 2 for alleged online fraud in Kaduna, recovers over 18 million naira. EFCC arraigns 2 for alleged online fraud in Kaduna, recovers over 18 million naira. Akwa Ibom State, Udom, still my father, Governor Eno says. Udom, still my father, Governor Eno says. Now to the politics section of the Daily Post newspaper. 2027, APC is cancer. Sule Lamido tells ADC how to remove Tinubu from power. 2027, APC is cancer. Sule Lamido tells ADC how to remove Tinubu from power. August 16th by-election, we support Tinubu, not APC candidate, Ogun PDP says. August 16th by-election, we support Tinubu, not APC candidate, Ogun PDP says. It is not wrong to oppose Tinubu's re-election, Waziri says. It's not wrong to oppose Tinubu's re-election, Waziri says. And finally, on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, North won't vote for Peter Obi, biggest importer of alcohol. APC chieftain Hassan says the North won't vote for Peter Obi, biggest importer of alcohol. APC chieftain Hassan says. Away from the Daily Post newspaper, let's go through some of the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Okay. Blaming Tinubu for North's problems, deceitful, says Sonny. Blaming Tinubu for the North's problem, deceitful, says Sonny. Okay. Insurance firms set to merger acquisition to raise capital base. All right. Away from that, endorsement not a guarantee for Oyebanji's re-election. Endorsement not a guarantee for Oyebanji's re-election. 2027, Tinubu will have landslide victory, says Swagger. Tinubu will have landslide victory, says Swagger. Away from that, Senator Tinubu donates 1 billion naira materials to Niger disaster victims. Senator Tinubu donates 1 billion naira materials to Niger disaster victims. Also, she presents 500 million naira cash and relief items to Yola flood victims. First Lady presents 500 million naira cash, relief items to Yola flood victims. I think that's how I will go with the headlines this morning because of our time. All right, joining me for analysis this morning is Honorable Femi Adebisi. Good morning and welcome to Press Drive this morning.
Good morning, Queen Esther. Yes, it's a bit sad this morning to announce the death of Dr. Doyin Abiola, the wife of late Chief MKO Abiola. Both of them got married in 1981, and that particular woman happened to be the first Nigerian woman to be an editor of a daily newspaper. She was a former managing director and publisher of National Concord, editor, National Concord, group feature editors at Daily Times. So she was educated at the University of Ibadan. She studied English and drama, and she graduated in 1969. Again, master's degree in journalism and PhD in communication and political science from New York University. So she will be remembered for a whole lot of achievement in life. May God rest her soul. Amen. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Remember, I can be a part of the conversation on Press Drive. You can call the studio lines, which I'll open when it's time. On Facebook, you can watch us live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. At I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us, and do react to the stories this morning. Do comment if you want to react to the stories this morning. Thank you very much. All right, let's just dive into the newspapers very quickly this morning. We have a couple of education stories right there, and we have, of course, a couple of politics stories when it comes to politics this morning. Let's just start with politics, and then we'll move to other sectors. 2027, ADC, Labour Party slam Umahi over pro-Tinubu remark. The People's Democratic Party, African Democratic Congress, Labour Party, and others have criticized the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, for urging the Southeast to back President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027. In a statement on Monday, Umahi had appealed to the Southeast to support Tinubu, claiming it will serve the long-term interest of the Igbo people. Okay? He said a whole lot. If I start quoting, time would, Reacting to Umahi's remark, spokesperson of the Senator Nemadi Usman-led national leadership, Ken Asogwa, described the minister's statement as self-serving. Okay? He also went on with some fact. Asogwa added that if Umahi felt so strongly about canvassing support for Tinubu's re-election in 2027, he should boldly take his message to Kano or any other state in the northwest, where Peter Obi has practically become a household name. Okay? The PDP Deputy National Legal Advisor, Okechukwu Oswoha, said Umahi was not
speaking for the master that they serve and not for the nation.
And they're not even speaking for themselves?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The reason why I say so is because of the assertion of Dave Umahi. Dave said that voting Tinubu again will guarantee the long-term expectation and interest of the Southeast. How? He did not supply information. There are two long-standing interests or expectation of the Southeast, which is one, either secession or they gain access to the presidency. Now, should Tinubu be voted in again, it means that power shift is going to the north in 2031, maybe for another 8 years. So, yeah, because after Tinubu, by the time, let's assume that he win election in 2027, finishes in 2031, yeah, then to the north, maybe another 8 years. That's so you'll be talking about if it's going to come to the east, it's going maybe in 2040.
In 2040, why?
So why? I mean, how will that serve the long term? Interest of the
Southeast.
Yes, because those are the two key long-standing interests of the Southeast. So that is one. And second, Umahi is, as you know, is a super minister, as we are talking about. So we want that to continue in the next tenure. So everything he can do, he want to do to make sure that APC win election. But of course, he has to realize that it's not only APC that happen to be on ground in all the 5 states in the Southeast. So, yes, whatever he's going to say, maybe they need to do underneath. In fact, they are speaking more than what they are doing. Swagger also mentioned that in fact it's going to be landslide
victory for Tinubu.
Yes, Swagger is based in Lagos mainly. And remember, APC, Tinubu lost all states in the presidential election in the last election. So maybe they need to do their work rather than talking. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, so let's stay on politics. And somebody mentioned something. It says, okay, that APC is a cancer, and then they're not supposed to come back in 2027. All right, if I see the particular headline, I'm going to read it out. Okay. All right, I'm not saying that headline, but then that particular headline says that APC is a cancer and they should not come back in 2027. Now, let's come to ADC. ADC chairman rejects David Mark's party takeover. The crisis rocking the African Democratic Congress took a dramatic turn on Tuesday. A state chairman of the party condemned what they called an orchestrated political coup by a coalition led by former Senate President Senator David Mark. In a statement jointly signed by the forum leader Elias Adoku and the Publicity Secretary Godwin Alaku, entitled Rejecting the Political Junta by Defending ADC and Nigeria's Democracy Against Subversion, the chairman described the development as a blatant and reckless subversion of both the party and Nigeria's democratic norms. Among the grievances, the chairman accused the coalition of plotting an unconstitutional hijack of the ADC through manipulation and backdoor dealings. Now, this is even within the ADC. It's not too early to start having crisis in the party.
Well, yeah, beginning with ADC. I've forgotten about the first question anyway.
Okay.
So, now, beginning with ADC. ADC, well, when you say that, Mark and his cohorts, they unconstitutionally, usurp the party. Well, that has to be proven in the court of law anyway. So, but of course, as far as I know, ADC had been in existence with their, various organs at various levels of government. So, and all of a sudden, you now have somebody else. No convention, nothing like a Congress, and is it new leadership just emerged just like that? Well, I view it that way, but of course, yes, like I said, it has to be proven in the court of law. So, meaning that it's not yet really with ADC as a party. Okay. They need to consolidate. They need to rework. Maybe if there's somebody to be settled again, because I know that they would have settled some people anyway. So maybe they need to do so that they can have their grant and be competitive in the next election. And second, somebody mentioned that APC happened to be a cancer.
Yes, and that's Sule Lamido. He says that APC is a cancer. He tells ADC how to remove Tinubu from power.
Well, yes. He won't be the first person to mention that APC is a cancer. Yeah, okay. Wike was the first to mention that.
That APC is a cancer.
Yeah, he said if that then things were going on where he was aiming to become probably the presidential candidate of PDP. Then, way back then, said that he will not leave PDP that is suffering malaria for APC that is cancerous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. But you see, you never can trust a politician because they lack integrity. They'll be hit somewhere in the morning, and before noon they are somewhere else. Or maybe they are talking from the other side of the mouth. So that's the character of an average politician. Okay. Yeah, if APC is said to be cancerous, it means that virtually most of the political parties in Nigeria are cancerous. Reason is this: APC is a miniature political parties collectively in Nigeria, because it was a coalition. Yeah, go and check it out. Up till now, the bulk of the organs of APC today happen to be people that migrated from PDP to APC. Yeah, few of them from ABGA, few of them from CPC, few of them from ANPP. So, and those are the core political parties we have in Nigeria. So that's where we are, even Labour Party. So that is where most of them came from. So it's a kind of household name. It's a combination of elements from various political parties. So you can safely say that the entire political class, as it were, for now, they are cancerous. That is the meaning. So now, if APC is also cancerous, you are having another coalition whose main objective happens to be similar to that of APC, and that objective have to happen to be taking over power. Okay. Not with little blueprint for reworking the system. So APC came to take over power. You don't have much in the last 10 years because things have lost drive. In fact, this administration corroborated the fact that the last 8 years that they inherited happened to be cancerous economically. Okay. So, and that is the same party, and you have to remember that individuals are not the one voted in to become the president. It is a party that
will 7 elections. And he said, who else do you think would defeat Asiwaju come 2027? Who? Peter Obi, that was on your program, saying he wants the North to support him and trust him. At the same time, in the same program, he's celebrating building breweries in Anambra State and being the biggest importer of alcohol, and he wants the North to vote for him.
I don't mind Azan. Azan is an hypocrite. Okay. Yeah, hypocrite in the sense that, yes, if Obi happened to be the biggest importer of alcohol, then the North in its entirety happened to be the biggest consumer of alcohol. Go and check that statistics. I work as in the marketing department for Sona Breweries before. Yeah, so I know what I'm talking about. So you do know how many breweries you are having in the North? Okay. And they consume alcohol. In fact, some of them in Age, you'll be thinking that they want to do aluala, and then it is beer. They have, because the bottle shouldn't be seen publicly. That's the way they consume. I know that. Not only that, they are the biggest beneficiary of proceeds from alcohol through that. So what are we talking about? So that shouldn't be a yardstick for measuring who is to become the president. So, but of course, the North needs to check their hypocrisy.
All right, let's go on this break. We'll be right back to take more reactions. This is to inform the general public that the Oyo State government has approved North Shell Integrated Services Limited to work in Ladoke-Akintola Airport area in Ibadan. The activities will include blasting a rock at this place. Residents living around Alabidun, Iyanataya, Oriyangi, secondary quarters, Idiobi, Ifeoluwa, Anuoluwapo, Ogoluwa, Alakia, Bawanuewe, Bawa Transformer, Gangosi, Oritameri, IGEM, Oremeji, Idioson, and Hope areas should please note that it is not a bomb blast from the activities approved by the state government.
It will start on Wednesday, August 6th to August 13th, 2025.
Please take note. This message is from North Shell Integrated Services Limited. Thank you very much for staying with us. All right, let's go through other stories. Away from politics, or should we say away from politics, Shehu Sani has something to say. He says Shehu Sani blames past leaders for not wars. Okay. A former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District, Shehu Sani, has blamed failed leadership by past northern leaders for the poverty, insecurity, and decaying infrastructure in the north. Receiving members of the Tijaniya Grassroots Mobilization and Empowerment Initiative of Nigeria at his Kaduna residence on Tuesday, Sani accused past leaders from the region of squandering opportunities and looting resources while neglecting the people who trusted them with power. He said, and I'm quoting, "We had Buhari in power for 8 years, yet the north remained impoverished. Industries like KTL, UNTL, Notex, Arewa Textiles, and others were abandoned. Our leaders chased personal gains, not the people's progress." He described it as deceptive and unjust to pin the region's problems on President Bola Tinubu, who he said had been in office for just 2 years, when decades of mismanagement predated his presidency. Okay, and he went on to say, ask yourselves, this I'm quoting now, did bad hospitals, failed roads, and insecurity start in the last 24 months? He said. So let's
Sheriff Sunday happened to be an activist along, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in their heydays. So I think they are friends. So he will have to defend as much as possible, especially when he himself is looking on to the opportunity to probably become an ambassador. Yeah. So, but let me analyze, and people might not understand. By over 52%, and from the federal allocation. Now, on the average, no state takes up to 1%. No singular state on the average from the national. And now, had all the states in the north put together, about 19 of them, that's about 90%, or maybe probably less than that. Why the federal government is there? And not only that, don't forget that by the act of the parliament, several institutions have been created under the federal government to take care of poverty alleviation in the country. Not only that, we need an enabling environment for people to thrive, even economically, including families. The current reforms have so much reduced most families into what we call, I'm sorry to say that, when I say unproductive, look at most of them on the road. They are cancer on the economy of the nation. They're not, most of them are not productive, because when you have on the street children, they just born and then release them. If you are a female, maybe they just take care of you because you have value when it comes to marriage and all that. You can add value to the family. But the young ones are left on the street to go and they're not educated and all that. So what are they doing? So even if the government is not doing much, or maybe the government lack capacity to do much, how about the wealthy individuals there? So they are in the habit of all these blank thing, whereby one person will be so rich and probably feeding the entire village, and of course they'll be comfortable at that, sitting around the man, the rich man. So all those traditions in the north does not, historical context does not support serious growth in the north, and they need to change the narrative. So both the federal government and the state government and the wealthy individuals there, they need to rework what we call social capital investment in the north for them to grow. So they need to change the historical context.
All right, thank you very much. Let's come to Osun State. I'm seeing this particular, so before we get to insecurity. Okay. And this headline, when I find it. Okay. Adeleke, APC and Adeleke trade words over governor's 2-week absence. And it says, the All Progressives Congress in Osun State on Tuesday accused Governor Ademola Adeleke of abandoning his duties and disappearing from the state for over 2 weeks without officially notifying the public or transferring power to his deputy. And they described the governor's silence as abnormal and questioned who had been running the state affairs in his absence. But responding swiftly, Adeleke spokesperson Olawale Rashid confirmed that the governor had traveled to the United States to attend the wedding of his nephew, global music star David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido. Rashid dismissed the APC's claim as political mischief and invited the party to the wedding.
Yeah, the most lavishly spent on wedding in this country was that of the cultural wedding of Davido and his wife Chioma. And of course, they are not comfortable with that. So they need to go to the United States for another round of white wedding. So they have done black wedding. So it's now the turn of white wedding. I'm sorry, we are not black anyway. Are we black? So we are not. Because when you do color, you should know what is black. different from what you call chocolate and other mix. So well, that's by the way. But of course, most of our political gladiators and political functionaries, most of them don't know the dichotomy between a private and public citizen. The moment you choose the way of public appointment, either by appointment or by election, then of course you are not answerable to yourself or your family alone. Whatever happens to you in terms of health, wherever you go, the public must know, because you are the anchor of that particular state. Yes, of course, he needed to take a leave officially and hand over to his deputy, and that is why you get deputies. So we're supposed to be the spare tire. When one is 40 and you put the other one. So now the House of Assembly need to know. I didn't think that you have a clear-cut separation of power. Yes, the House is an impeachable offense anyway. You cannot just get out just like that. They need to query him. But of course, who is going to do that? Who is going to bear the cat? That person will get some problem, because the people in the executive have their lords. So I call them lords because they are so powerful. Nobody queries them. No checks and balances anywhere. So even the judiciary is already, burst inside. Into a corner already. So things that suggest a breakdown of institution in the country. And wherever you don't have institution, you don't get structure. Where you don't get structure, you cannot expect delivery of what you call good governance. Adeleke is a good logic guy person, that's his nature, but of course he has to realize that he's a public citizen and he has to be answerable to the people.
All right, let's come to education very quickly, and then we'll go on a break and open the phone lines. All right, this first one, I'm going to put them together so we can react to them together. Yobe Pantami hailed Nigerian Global English Champions seek honors. The Yobe State Government and the Mariam Abacha American University of Nigeria group of universities have celebrated the outstanding achievement of two students, Nafisa Abdullahi, 17 years, and Rukaya Muhammad Fema, 15 years, who emerged world champions at the 2025 Teen Eagle Global Finals in London, United Kingdom. The duo, both students of Nigerian Tulip International College, represented Nigeria in the global competition, where they beat over 20,000 contestants from 69 countries to clinch the world titles in English language skills and overall debate categories respectively. Governor Mala Buni of Yobe State on Tuesday approved a special ceremony to honor the girls, both of whom are beneficiaries of his scholarship program that currently sponsors the over 890 students at the institution. Buni described the performance as a reward for the administration's heavy investment in education, and it goes on and on. Former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Pantami, has called on the federal government to grant Nafisa Abdullahi a $100,000 reward, a 3-bedroom flat, and national honors, likening our achievement to those of Nigeria's victorious women's national football and basketball teams. Okay, and he went on and on. Now, there's another headline still on this particular story, and that headline, okay, all right, still on that. All right, it's the same headline. It's the same headline, actually. This one says, reward Nafisa like falcons the tigress. Okay,
yeah, well, of course.
Let's put all of those together. Somebody raised that particular question about rewarding the Super Falcons at this time, and some other persons are saying it's a controversy. When you reward Super Falcons, what about those who do well in academics? Do you in education, rather, do you reward them? So
no, in fact, a whole lot of achievements are being recorded daily in the knowledge economy, academics, health sector. You see people making waves from time to time. Yes, like I keep saying, individually in Nigeria we are superstars or megastars in most cases, but collectively we are such a nuisance, irritant nuisance, a collective nuisance for that matter. See, those ladies, especially Nafisa,
yes,
beating students from about over 60 countries of the world. I'm telling you, it's much more than those people that won this AFCON thing and all that. You see, reward system is all about maybe doing PR for the government. PR. So if you are an influencer, maybe from music or football or whatever, yes, of course, because you are an influencer, yeah, the government will look at your way. But let some other people from other obscured, but the most important, because we have turned education, knowledge economy into an obscured aspect of the economy. So, health sector, so they care less about all those things. Government will not look that way anyway. And should they look, towards the direction of my officer, it's not, maybe it's going to be born out of pressure. Being outside because she need to go and fetch some money for the family. Not only that, most of the students, they serve as assistant parents. Yes, they need to go and work before they go to school or after school. I know many of them that are Okada riders and yet in secondary schools.
Students?
Yes, of course. I know that. So, some of them, they just need to do something outside of the academy. So you cannot combine those two things together. In fact, education should not just be about learning, it has to be about training. Okay. Training is a companion.
And aside those who failed, WAEC on Monday announced the result of and then where he declared that 9.75% candidates their results were withheld over alleged involvement in various forms of examination.
Because of their new measures, including question serialization and increased use of computer-based testing, which is aimed at curbing cheating, but also this particular measures exposed the lack of preparation by the children, the lack of mental stability, emotional stability, born out of systemic issues. The poor result highlight deeper problem within the education system, families. Probably it equals the budget of the federal government of Nigeria, over $20-something billion. That's the endowment for a single university. So meaning that you can actually get a whole dose of money from that particular industry. It's an industry. We call it knowledge economy. It's an industry because you manufacture human being that will be productive to serve the nation in various capacity. So should you transform some of your university into world-class university? It means that you'll be attracting foreign direct investment. You'll be attracting.
When you are doing something that will gain, is there any gain? Is that of gain? Is what they are going to give you back home. Let's say they are not giving them $100 billion.
Okay.
Are we like their performance? Is there anything for Nigeria and to be given that $100 billion? So out of that one, that's what gain to them. That will be better. So that the reason why Nigeria is what they do to do is that they are not they are progress now. They are big about the bush. The issue of people playing and game, then we will form the one party or the other party. Who's on the past leaders like Buhari, Babangida, Audis Abdulsalam, they have ruled the country for years. They didn't blame those that it's now they are simply the blame of Bola Tinubu, who has not been for less than 3 years. All this monthly education they are collecting, instead of using to develop their state, they are using to combat waste. All the security people they are collecting, I don't know what they are using it for. If they can't blame Bola Tinubu, you need Bola Tinubu to develop their state. The development of their state tested on the governor. That's my comment on the issue of study. Those that are living by the river side, you should please move to a safety area for the great society. That's my comment. Have a nice working day.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yes, they should relocate, but to where?
19th state.
Yes, where would they relocate to? And you see, in a serious country, you should get council flat. Local government is supposed to handle them. When you are talking about, we are not emergency prepared. We are not sensitive, despite the fact that year in year we experience such. So, okay, that's why I was saying that about 7 and something, whatever buildings that was collected from the past CBN governor should be turned to probably a kind of rehabilitation center. Yes, let the poor man enjoy the goodness of life as well. So when you are displaced from the comfort of your home, then you shouldn't be in a hut or in a tent. Whereby nobody cares for you, whereby you are prone to diseases and infections by insects and all those stuff. So we are not. So they should relocate to where? I'm asking our governors. I'm asking our local government chairman to where.
All right. Keep it coming in 0705 500 1033 or 905 444 1033 on our Facebook page at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Do drop a comment on our Facebook page. All right, I'm seeing some comments on our Facebook page. I have this from, I see a comment, Abib Kamadope. I see your comment, Olaumi Okpaduan. But it is expected due to the decline in the stakeholders' responsibility. Parental care has been lost in society, leaving everything for the government, and government who are not doing enough in terms of budgetary allocation to the sector. And this bottom line is that nothing really will change in the education sector unless everybody contributes their own quota. Tell me a country that is taking the bedrock in nation building with levity hands, and I will show you a nation where nothing seems to be working again. Be cool. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tululokbadiemi, for your comments. The other comments on our Facebook page. Let me take this also. All right, this is from Dr. Mukala Famiwa. He says, Nigerians and corruption 5 and 6. Okay, thank you for your comment, Pastor Dr. Mukala Famiwa. I have another one from Tululokbe Adeyemi, but then we'll take your comment after this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, please do call back. I think the network is not...
problem with calls.
The network, and I think technical. I don't know if it's... I don't know. I guess it's network. I guess it's the weather.
When it rains, a whole lot of things get wrong in the country, and we are not. Nobody's probably looking towards that direction.
Okay, so please do call back. If one of the lines is not going through, please try the other line. 0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right. Please do call back. I think it's the network. Please do not give up calling, and in case you can't reach us via calls, you can also drop a comment on our Facebook page. You can read it out from there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
morning, my friend. Sorry, sir.
We cannot blame the students alone for the mass failure in WAEC. We must blame the government. We must blame the WAEC as a body for their poor planning. Because at some point, these students have to write the exam in the night, which is not supposed to do. So let all hands be on deck. Let our leaders prioritize the education they benefit from. That is that. Good morning.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comment. That's true. We do not actually consider the part where they had to write a particular exam, particular subject rather, at night. And we're using touch.
Sometimes logistic problem can be inevitable. Yeah, but of course, on the general note, I still want to comment WAEC because they are putting in place a system wherein it is a bit difficult for you to cheat. So and that is commendable. So they are just starting that. Then a whole lot of infrastructure in terms of ICT, education in terms of ICT has to be, increased. The volume need to be pumped up. So for the students to be more, versatile, to exit the current system of examination.
Okay. All right. On Facebook, I see this from Adumi Kazim says, good morning, well done from New Garage, Ibadan. Thank you very much for joining us on Facebook. Okay, there's another story, but it's an interview. But then the headline is talking about a kidnapped law student recounting his experience and how the police, according to the headline, the police didn't rescue them. So it's an interview, but then that's the headline. So, I mean, we know